So after watching Zack Snyder's Justice League twice, I thought it would be a good idea to explain all of the new arcs and the ending of the movie. Of course, this film is a completely different experience with the director's cut, and as I explained in my review video, I was thoroughly impressed with what Zack Snyder's original film was. To put it more simply though, I'm going to be explaining the new elements and ending for Zack Snyder's Justice League in the aim to help you guys gather a greater sense over what happened and to get us thinking about some of the things that the Snyder Cut put forward. This analysis will also contain spoilers, so if you do happen to be someone who hasn't seen the film, then I would recommend watching this video after you've seen it. If you want to see more on the film, including video essays in the coming weeks, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoy this video, remember to give it a like rating. But without further ado, let's dive into Zack Snyder's Justice League Explained. So the long road to Zack Snyder's Justice League has finally reached its destination. With the 2 extra hours of running time, Snyder has the space and grace to play with concepts and characters previously left on the cutting room floor. The story unfolds across 7 parts, 6 dedicated chapters and an epilogue, and feels like the director's big move on the DCEU. He goes all out, incorporating Darkseid, elements like the anti-life equation, and a few show-stopping set pieces. For those who watched the film already, what follows is a breakdown of the most important changes Snyder made to his version of Justice League. Starting off, the film opens with a big change right from the get-go, and that is Superman's death cry. Historically speaking, Snyder has a pretty excellent track record when it comes to starting films, like his opening Watchmen credits, and he's pulled off a similar magic trick here. As the credits roll, we see a slowed down version of Superman's death at the hands of Doomsday. The echoes of his death cry ring out and reverberate through the universe, activating the mother boxes and letting the villain Steppenwolf know Earth is ready for an invasion. It works as a friendly reminder of Superman's role as the protector of the planet and sets the seeds for the importance of his revival later in the movie. It's a quieter, more somber introduction that sets the film's stakes without a cover set montage of cringeworthy newspaper headlines that we saw in the 2017 version. Soon after, we learn that Steppenwolf is bigger, more threatening, and has a backstory. Steppenwolf's motivation as an antagonist in the original Justice League is exceptionally thin. We hardly know anything about him outside the fact that he's just the film's bad guy. He's smug and powerful, but that's about it. Snyder's version, however, paints the character in a radically different light. Cast out of Apocalypse, the evil hellscape where DC's darkest villains dwell, Steppenwolf has been forced to destroy worlds to get back into the good graces of Darkseid. Snyder positions Steppenwolf as almost a mid-level enforcer who is desperate to please his angry boss. The added running time also allows Snyder to introduce Darkseid, who takes on a more prominent role in 2 regards. First, he's swapped in as a primary attacker in the film's ancient flashback instead of Steppenwolf. Secondly, after it's discovered that the anti-life equation, a power that lets Darkseid dominate the human race, lingers on Earth, he preps to invade, only to witness the League taking on and defeating Steppenwolf in the movie's finale. This is all the stuff that DC fans will love to finally see come to life, while also providing more context on why Steppenwolf is so desperate to take over Earth. Created by the legendary Jack Kirby in 1971, the anti-life equation proves mathematically that freedom is a lie, hope doesn't exist, and life itself is pointless. And if Darkseid gets a hold of this in a potential future film, as we see in the nightmare sequences later on, he can bend Superman to his will. Alongside this, we start to see the different journeys of our main heroes being extended and given room to breathe. The overall arcs of Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, and Diana Prince, aka Wonder Woman, remain essentially unchanged but are given greater depth. In both versions, Diana is introduced as she thwarts a terrorist attack in London, but is given a chance to interact with a small girl in the Snyder version. Additionally, Diana learns about the Mother Box's function after seeing the fire in the Amazon temple. In the Whedon version, her knowledge about the boxes come out of nowhere, whereas here, we see her learning about them before she details it all to Bruce. And speaking of Batman, we see a bit more of Bruce prepping his various gadgets alongside Alfred, which allows his British wit to provide some moments of levity to the film. Affleck's Batman continues to be great, and the actor does an excellent job of making you understand why he feels compelled to bring everyone together after spending so much time trying to divide in the previous film. But one of Justice League's many problems is that the movie suffers from doing the most. It's challenging to introduce a handful of new characters and provide proper motivation for a nemesis. On some level, Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman, and Barry Allen, aka The Flash, are easy to understand. One can run fast, while the other is a god who can talk to fish. However, Snyder restores two key sequences, one in which the Flash saves Iris West from a car crash, and another at the very end during the film's big third act fight. The latter is frankly a visual stunner that's arguably one of the best DCEU set pieces. It involves Barry running through time to help save the day. It really is a thing of beauty to watch this sequence come together, and it also makes Flash's role in the film seem so much more justified. Clemen's inclusion doesn't amount to much more than a cameo, however, but I'm glad we'll have more time with her in the upcoming Flash movie. Snyder's Barry is also less annoying, more sure of himself, and overall has more lines that hit in the movie. One of my favourite parts was the emotion brought in the jail cell sequence with his father at the end of the film, because it brought him down to earth and really grounded the character in his experience. Also, most of Aquaman's scenes are focused on setting up the tension we'd see explored to a deeper extent in the James Wan directed Aquaman movie. Willem Dafoe's Volko lays out for Arthur what's at stake for both the surface and the ocean if Aquaman doesn't step in and help to fight against Steppenwolf. Additionally, Arthur spends a bit more time speaking with Mera about his mother and the role she would have played. The one movie ended up covering similar beats, but Snyder wanted to set up those moments for further exploration whenever the eventual solo film ended up coming out. What many of us loved about the film, however, is the change to Cyborg's character. Ray Fisher has a lot to be upset about. In addition to having an extremely toxic experience working with Joss Whedon on the 2017 version of Justice League, the Cyborg actor is essentially the Snyder Cut's beating heart. Here we are treated to the entire origin of Victor Stone, in which he was a star college quarterback who was killed in a car accident along with his mother on the way back from a game. Brought back to life with the mother box by his estranged father, Vic feels isolated and alone as a modern-day version of Frankenstein's monster. Cyborg's connection with his father helps to further facilitate Cyborg as the centre of the film, as the paternal relationship is something Snyder can clearly relate to in the wake of his own familial tragedy. Alongside this, the whole trilogy of Snyder DCEU films is about parents and family. Man of Steel is essentially a movie about fathers, Batman v Superman is a movie about mothers, and to me, Justice League is a movie about family coming together and accepting yourself once there has been loss. Much of Cyborg's arc is about coming to terms with who he is as the man of two worlds, reflecting part of Aquaman and Superman's arcs too. Vic is of Earth and of Apocalypse, the latter of which makes him the key to defeating Steppenwolf if he can find a way to accept himself before it's too late. It's one of the most essential additions to the overall Justice League story, and its omission feels especially glaring when you compare the two cuts. Furthermore, Fisher's portrayal is one of the movie's most captivating performances, making Cyborg a profoundly sympathetic character. But then we arrive at the central character in the DCEU, who is back in black and ready to bring the hope that uplifted him in Man of Steel. Superman is free of his awful face CGI in this cut, with all of the original footage restored, and Henry Cavill's Man of Steel doesn't look weird or awkward as he arrives to save the day at the movie's climax. Additionally, Clark Kent has some more quiet moments of reflection alongside Lois Lane as he slowly comes back to life after being revived by the group. The most notable addition for Supes is a nod to his all-black recovery suit. In the comics, the suit helps boost Superman's solar charging abilities, getting him back into the action quicker. That information isn't addressed in the Snyder Cut. Instead, the suit appears to be a purely cosmetic choice. The moment in which Clark selects the suit features a dual voiceover conversation between Jor-El and Jonathan Kent from Man of Steel, as they remind Superman of his importance to not only Earth, but the galaxy as well, and serves as a touchstone to the previous films which started the entire DCEU. After all the battle and success in defeating Steppenwolf though, we come to the dreams and nightmares of the film. This acts as a go-for-broke epilogue that teases Snyder's grand vision for future films. One of the most striking moments in Batman v Superman is that nightmare sequence. Experienced as a dream Bruce has while waiting for the download of Luthor's files to decrypt, the nightmare is a post-apocalyptic Mad Max type reality in which Earth has turned to dust under Superman's reign of terror. In the Snyder Cut, we get more of an understanding of the sequence's importance. It turns out that this nightmare is an alternate reality where Darkseid discovers the anti-life equation on Earth. Upon possessing it, he kills Lois and brings Superman to heel. The two then plunge Earth into a living hellscape, killing Wonder Woman and Aquaman in the process. In one of the confirmed new additions to the cut, audiences are treated to another nightmare sequence that shows Batman leading a ragtag team of heroes and villains, which includes Mera, The Flash, Cyborg and Deathstroke, to try and save the world. The majority of the scene involves Batman interacting with and ultimately recruiting Jared Leto's version of the Joker to aid the cause before Superman appears. The conversation between the two confirms some of the lingering plot points from Batman v Superman, including the fact that Joker killed Robin and burned down Wayne Manor in the process. Joker appears with an excellently creepy laugh that sounds like a creaky door. There's a ball of tension between him and the Dark Knight as he taunts Batman about the loved ones he's lost, his parents, and his adopted son. When Batman warns Joker to be careful, the clown adds a little more drama. He says, "You need me to help you undo this world you created by letting her die. Poor Lois, how she suffered so." Joker also wonders about the number of alternate timelines in which Batman has let the world be destroyed because he lacks the cojones to die himself. The clown gives Batman a Joker playing card that signifies a truce between them. If Batman wants to renew their beef, he just needs to tear up the card. Batman counters by revealing that Harley Quinn died in his arms, but begged Batman to give the Joker a slow death when he kills him. Their plans, threats and profanity in this scene all seem to be rendered moot by the arrival of Superman, back in his red and blue costume, whose eyes glow a sinister red as he prepares to shoot lasers at them. At the very end of the film, however, we come to the re-arrival of Martian Manhunter. Upon awaking from the nightmare dream, Bruce interacts with Martian Manhunter, who issues a warning that Darkseid is on the way in pursuit of the anti-life equation, despite Steppenwolf's defeat. Manhunter was revealed earlier in the film after pretending to be Martha Kent to have been General Swanwick in disguise, but the potential arrival of Darkseid forces him out of hiding and off the sidelines. This sets up a cliffhanger that would have been explored in a second Justice League film, which would have further fleshed out the nightmare world, involved time travel, and would have seen more of the Joker and Batman interacting. Considering we ended up getting the Snyder Cut after all of this time, to be honest, I think we may see this happening. But I guess we'll just have to see how Justice League performs, and of course how the petitioning for that second film goes ahead. But that was my brief video explaining the new elements and ending in the Snyder Cut of Justice League. Having watched the film twice, I must say that it's getting even better on rewatch, and these new scenes within the film definitely add to the experience. This movie is completely different to the one we got in theatres 4 years ago, and it's just great to see characters developed well and an actual story being formed in the process. But I hope this did help some of you guys regather the events a bit better, and I'm looking forward to hearing what else you picked out, so don't forget to let me know down below in the comment section. For more videos analysing the Justice League Snyder Cut over the next few weeks, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like rating. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.